So my name is Evan Wigg. I'm the director of the Farmers Guild. We are an organization that advocates and organizes farmers and ranchers across California. We started right here in Sonoma County, and we currently have 3 chapters up and running around these parts. We have local coalitions where farmers, ranchers, and food advocates get together on a regular basis to talk shop, share resources, and generally advocate for sustainable local family farms. The goal really is to create a more educated and empowered generation of farmers, especially for those new and young folks who are just getting into the game. So we are at Green Valley. It's a ranch where they run a cattle operation. It's a herd share, so they have dairy cattle here, Jerseys, as well as a little bit of vineyard, and they're working on establishing a new diversified vegetable operation. And then I got involved with a couple old timers on my block out in Brooklyn on turning an old abandoned plot into a garden. Had no intention, no agricultural aspirations whatsoever, but over the course of this process of just working with my neighbors in cleaning up broken bottles and pulling out weeds and putting in a few vegetable plots, I just became obsessed. One day I had an old friend of mine from college who, around the time I moved to New York City, he started helping out his family's ranch out in Valley Forge, which is just on the western coast of Sonoma. And so I called him up one day and asked if he needed a ranch hand. And one of the biggest lessons that I came away with was just how hard it was getting started as a farmer. Around that time, I started getting some of our local farms together on a regular basis over at our ranch. It was pretty simple. We called it Meatloaf Monday because we were at a cattle ranch. We had a couple of extra pounds of ground beef every week or so. So we'd cook up a meatloaf, people would bring over beers, and it was as simple as that. We'd sit around the table and talk shop and talk about the price of alfalfa at the feed store, or talk about, compare our mobile chicken coop blueprints, whatever it might be. And little by little, they started inviting more people, and then someone brought this guy who was raising sheep down the road, and then they invited a team of interns, and suddenly this group of 6 people around our kitchen table turned into 15, 20, 30, until finally there were like 40 people, 50 people showing up to the ranch on a regular basis just for the Meatloaf Mondays. And the work that we do is, talking about providing, all these different organizations out there working to provide resources for farmers or for local food systems in general. Some of them provide access to land, some of them provide capital, some of them provide specific educational programs or policy work, whatever it might be. And I think that the resource that we really focus on is what I call social capital, which is the ability to call up your neighbor or another person from the guild and say, hey, I need some help, like I need to borrow a livestock trailer, or I just need to know, when should I plant these peas, or hey, what do you think about this new feed store? Do you trust them? A lot of people have this idea that eating seasonally means that you only eat potatoes and carrots in the winter, and that you only get tomatoes in August and September. But if you understand food preservation techniques, then tomato season is all year round. All you got to do is learn how to can them, and then you've got an endless supply all year round, and you can have your tomatoes in February if you really want. And really, you're only limited by how much freezer or fridge space you have left over. So preservation is really about extending the season, and that's really the key to being both sustainable but also Epicurean and not being limited so much in your diet. I think that the economics of agriculture really comes down to not just decisions by the farmer, but decisions by the consumer. I guess to conclude it all, the one quote that leads me and guides me in all of my work is from Wendell Berry, who was an author and poet and farmer, who said that eating is an agricultural act. And for me, that just means that when we talk about agriculture, we're not talking just about the people in the field farming. We mean that agriculture is a practice that we all participate in every single day. Every time we make a decision at the grocery store, every time we make a decision at the voting booth, all of those are agricultural actions. So take responsibility for the food system we have, and if you look around and you don't like it, change it.